My favorite part of my job is working with my tools and going into a project, especially like doing finish work or building a cabinet, which is my favorite end of the job, is to start with a set of prints that either someone else has drawn or I've drawn and bring it through to a completed product that I deliver to a customer and they're happy with it. That's the most satisfaction that you get, is doing a good job and having other people be happy with your work. Every day is a learning experience in this trade. You can never walk away and say, I know it all, because someone always has a different technique or a better way of doing it, and materials and tools are changing so rapidly with the advent of new technology that you can't really say, I know it all. And that's probably the best challenge of the job, is to learn and to continue to find situations where you do learn.
It's not what you would dream of doing when you grow up. You know, you don't grow up thinking you're going to be out jackhammering and be out at 3 o'clock in the morning in the mud, and it's just not what you would think of doing when you grow up. You just have to be willing to take some risk to do this sort of work. It's a non-traditional job, and it's not for a traditional sort of person. It definitely is proven that. I get kind of a vicarious pleasure out of doing something very well that only men are supposed to do.
I think it's wonderful working in the trades, being a woman working in the trades. I think there's a lot more respect that when I first started out there wasn't that respect for women doing a predominantly male job traditionally. I think sticking with it and working really hard, sometimes having to work a little harder than normal, like men would, to prove ourselves. And I think enough women have done that through the years, the decades, that men are they're really accepting women in the workplace, respecting them as fellow workers, co-workers, and I've been treated exceptionally well.
It's like any job. If you want to do it and be good at it. If you're going to half-ass it, don't do it. Because this job ain't the half-ass type of job, you know. Because I wouldn't, and this goes male or female, I don't want somebody on my truck that is either not stronger or as strong as I am, because they can't do me no good as far as if we're pulling pipe. I need someone at the other end that can pull it. I shouldn't have to go on both sides of the hole and do both our jobs. I just think if you want to do it, be good at it and do it. I don't milk my jobs. I don't go. Everybody says I'm a hard worker. Some people don't like to work with me because they say I work too hard. But I don't see that. I just like to get the job done. I don't like standing around. Just get in shape and come out and do it. Because if you want to be on my truck, you got to work up to what I work. That's it.
I think you learn more from better leads. If you have a good lead, you're going to be a better apprentice. The leads who could teach, they have the knowledge, they have the skill, they're going to pass it along to you. And so it all depends who you get hooked up with. You see a lot of guys try to muscle it and bang it and, I don't know, just fight the machine rather than use good technique. And that's where the lead comes in too, and tries to teach you the best technique. And as an apprentice, you need to be open to that, and you need to take the good and the bad, and you have to sort it out for yourself.
At first it was hard for me because I wasn't expecting, when they say you want to be a water pipe helper, I thought you were going to be a water pipe helper, which means handing tools. I was kind of amazed when you did a little bit more than handing tools, when you're actually doing the work. You're not just digging the holes, you're actually fitting the pipes. We mostly have good attitudes down here, and we try hard. Maybe harder than some of the men, because men take it for granted that they've been doing this job. A lot of men say that women aren't built for this job, but I don't think the men are built for this job, and either. I mean, it's neither sex is built for this kind of job, and that's why over the last 9 years I've been here, there's been a lot more equipment down here, and it's made the job a lot easier, and people use their heads a lot more.
This job takes a certain type of person, man or a woman, because you're in the mud. I mean, if you don't like to get dirty, we've had some people come in, you can just tell they don't like to get dirty. This is a dirty job. I mean, you're out, if it's nice out and you don't have a muddy hole, you end up having a lot of dust. I mean, you get a lot of grime on you. Some jobs you get greasy. So it takes the type of person who likes hard work, likes to sweat, and a person who doesn't quit. Because some of the stuff out here, I mean, you'll have a leak, water will be blowing in your face, and you need to just be the type that no matter what, you're going to get it done. And not everybody's that type of person.
It's a really cool job. I work all by myself. I'm in a little pickup truck. I cover the whole city from Renton to the county line at 205th, everything from the Sound to the lake just about. And I like this city. I tell you, one of my greatest joys was in the women's locker room, a woman that's long gone now, who had 3 children, and she got a job as a water pipe helper, and the pay rate was pretty good at the time she came in. And she got her first paycheck, and she takes her paycheck and she runs into the women's locker room without really looking at it closely. And I think that she didn't really stop and add things up previous to this, but she takes her paycheck and there's no one in the locker room but she and I, and she looks at it and she looks at it and she just like, and she says, I can support me and my children with this. And it was just like, yes!
Well, it scares you to death at first, and after you see you're not going to kill yourself, you just like doing it, you know. It just, the trucks is pretty, first of all, and then you like to, from a kid up, I'd see that big truck. I wanted to be a big truck driver. I enjoy being out, although it gets hot in the summertime and cold in the wintertime and rough in the rain, but it's just different. I enjoy working on the outside. I don't feel confined. And once I get in my truck and I get dispatched out, I know what I got to do. And I know my job. I enjoy my job, and I feel like I'm halfway good at my job, so, you know, that makes it easy.
The truck that I most often drive now, it's a 10-yard dump. It has 8 speeds, and it's pretty easy to drive that one. It's pretty easy to shift it, and it's a newer truck, so it's pretty nice. I try not to let the traffic or anything upset me, you know. I know I'm out there doing the job, and I'm driving for the city, and safety first, always, always.
My attitude is, hey, I'm not trying to take anybody's job, but I think that everybody should have a right to make a livable wage and to do something that's going to make them happy. There's no reason why a woman can't drive these dump trucks. I mean, we've got 4 of them over there, 5 of them over there proving it right now. And the thing is, you don't have to be big and strong and all that, because that's what we're a team for, to help each other, you know. And I think that's the problem sometimes, you know. We got to work together, you know. I mean, heaven's sakes, we're all in this together anyway. I mean, we may have our difference of opinion about some things, but we all are trying to get a job done, so.
Many people, when they think of horticulture type related things, they think of the parks, they think of doing something like a garden like this or something, and they never really sit down to think about all just the regular general maintenance aspects of it, which are monotonous and a pain in the butt and filthy and painstaking and frustrating. But in the long run, there's always a lot of rewards for it. You get gardens like this.
When you're working next to somebody dropping trees, you're not going to want to work next to somebody you don't trust. You know, you may not walk away from what you're doing. So you have a tendency to become like a family. You know, even if there's personal differences, there's just certain things on a job that forms a trust.
The most fun is the people I work with. Also, you have to remember, I'm working in the outdoors. This is also protective watershed, so there are numerous kinds of animals. And those animals are neat to see, and it's hard to believe that you're doing your job and there's a deer just over from you, or you're driving down the road and the elk won't get out of the road. It's beautiful. You have to be willing to put up with the weather. It can be hot and buggy. It can be cold and rainy, sleeting. You need to dress in layers. You need to have extra clothes in your locker because you never know when the weather's going to change.
It was exciting for me to see the power of the water. During flood season, I would get to go down, and they had like tunnels that they would open up to let the water basically leave the dam, and the water power, getting to watch it just shoot out and hit the rock wall on the opposite side, I think it got me real excited about what water was all about and what it could do, and definitely opened my interest up to a field, such as this.
What is the hardest part about my job? Well, getting stuck in the snow or getting stuck in the mud, and sitting there or trying to dig myself out. One time when I first started, I really high-centered in the snow and dug myself out like 3 times, an inch forward, and then finally had to call. Took like 3 trucks to get me out, and I split my pants down the back. And that was a great day.